Joining us now with some perspective into the investigation is Ted Snodgrass, a retired Metro lieutenant. Thanks so much for being here late on this Monday night. Let's start with what the NYPD is going through right now. They are at the beginning of this, what could be a very complex investigation crossing state lines, but at the same time, they are grieving over the loss of one of their own.
They don't have time to grieve. The detectives that are working that are going to have to place themselves in another place, and they don't have the luxury like most people do to be able to grieve. They're going to have to get their work done.
Let's talk, I'm sorry to just get you off there,
No,
but let's talk about what Metro's doing here in town at that home at Desert Shores. You worked with Metro for 29 years. What are they looking for inside that house?
They're looking for anything that shows that what this guy was planning, what he was going to do, who he was in contact with, and most of all, they're looking to see if there's any future threats. Now, we've all pretty well looked at it and said, oh, that it's been cleared, everything's over, but there's always the possibility, no matter how minor, that there's another person that's involved or another threat. They have to rule that out first. And then they'll start going through his computers, they'll talk to his family members, they'll talk to his friends. Everybody's going to get talked to tonight.
One of the things that was brought up by Las Vegas police and shared with their counterparts in New York is that there was a history of some mental health challenges. How do red flag laws come into play? I mean, this suspect did have a concealed carry permit.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to take a look at that specific person, and we're looking at things from behind. We've got the luxury of this has already happened. When you have so many people in this community that have mental health problems and so many guns, it's very tough to pinpoint who's going to be the future threat and who's not, because the vast majority of people don't cause this kind of problem.
We're going to talk more about that with Kristen Drummond from the Live Desk coming up in just a second, but this appears to be a very targeted shooting. This man gets in his car 3 days ago in Las Vegas, drives across the country, gets to New York City this evening, had along double parks,
right?
Nevada plates. There's the map right there. You can see where he started from Vegas, went through Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa. He was in New Jersey this afternoon. He crossed the Hudson River into Manhattan this evening, and then he went up to the 33rd floor, very specifically the 33rd floor, and shot one person on the 33rd floor and then shot himself. It appears to be targeted.
It appears to be, but you can't rule anything out, especially when you're here in Las Vegas. You have to look and be exact. I agree with you. He shot the officer because the officer is going to be the threat, and I believe that was down in the bottom floor.
He did that first,
right? And then he executed a security guard too, I believe. So
correct.
But interestingly enough, there's a woman that gets out of the elevator while he's going up, and he leaves her alone.
Yeah.
And he gets on the elevator and goes up. And you're correct, from what I understand, and you never know. There's different things that come out later on. But he's looking for someone specific, and he goes and executes that person, kills them, and then takes his own life. And he does all of this with a long gun, which shows even more intent. Not a pistol, but a long gun, a rifle.
And it seems like you lingered a little bit on the fact that a woman he allowed her to leave.
Well,
what do you make of that?
If you're mentally unstable, life doesn't mean much with a lot of these guys. It's just not important. So there's something going on there when he permitted this woman to live, because he could have killed her, and he obviously had enough ammunition with that type of weapon to do it. So why didn't he?
Why the distinction between a long gun and a handgun in this case? You made the distinction. I didn't quite follow that.
It's more lethal. Absolutely more lethal. That
so if you want to kill somebody,
that's the weapon of choice. Pistols are not as lethal as that rifle, and he can reach out farther if he wants to do it, to a lot farther than a pistol.
We do know there was another firearm in the vehicle, right? That they believe that he left
Yep.
there, and also more ammunition in the vehicle as well.
Yeah, but he double parks. He goes in and
right.
he doesn't care. He's not coming back to
He's
that
not
vehicle as
coming
far as
back.
I can see, because the car. I'm assuming, I've never been to Manhattan, but I'm assuming that car's not going to be there when he comes back. It's going to create notice. So he knows. He goes in. It appears. You don't want to jump to conclusions, especially since all the investigators in New York and all the investigators here in Las Vegas don't want to jump to conclusions, but they're going to get answers, and they're working off different things. And if they talk to the family, if they talk to the friends and stuff like that, or they go through his computers or his different types of media and things, they can find out.
But the fact is, sometimes in these cases, we never know the why. We never know the motive, and the most obvious one is the 1 October shooting from 2017. We still don't know why that man opened fire. We may not know in this case too.
But he was indiscriminate. He killed numerous people and didn't even know them. This guy goes in there and confronts someone and doesn't bother them. There's something to be said for that. Something's going on there. He's not indiscriminately just killing people. It's as if he's got a mission. It's as if. He doesn't go in there. It's not a mass killing like for instance, we talked about at the Mandalay Bay. It's one where he's specifically pointing out the policeman and the security guard, they're a threat. I don't know about the third or fourth person or what the other person, but it seems to me that somebody on, am I correct in saying the 33rd floor?
Yes.
There's a problem with him and what's going on the 33rd floor.
It was a real estate management company.
Don't know,
what does that mean?
but he feels in his mind, and again, I don't know, we don't know, that he's been wrong, his family may have been wrong, and he's going to take care of it. Same thing with the man that was killed in New York earlier, that assassinated on the front of the streets. You know, the guy feels like the suspect feels like he's been wronged. He's going to take care of it. He's going to get even. And this looks like that here. But these detectives here in Las Vegas, until it's done, they will be out there and they will figure it out. And trust me, they're not just at his mother's address. There's other addresses. There's different people they've figured out, they've talked to. He may have said to someone, you know, I'm going to go and do this. And if someone told you that, you'd probably go, that's crazy. No one's going to do that. But he did. There's a lot of effort that he put into this, and that in itself says something.
It does.
A lot of effort. He didn't fly an airplane.
Nope.
Because he wanted to carry that long gun.
Right.
And he brought a long gun, not a pistol.
More lethal.
More lethal, absolutely more lethal. On most things that you look at with the type of weapon that I'm assuming that he had, it's one shot and you're done. Whereas with pistols, it could be multiple shots and you still, I've had partners that were shot numerous times and they've lived to talk about it.
Chilling insight. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to take a quick time out here. We're going to come back. We're going to check in with Kristen Drummond at the live desk. She's been checking into the mental health history, the possible criminal history of the shooter here, and the fact that he had a concealed weapons permit.